So now we're doing the dry heat cooking method of sauteed chicken. So here we have, these are what's called the airline breasts or supreme. This is again cut from the 8-cut chicken that we did, the French or European style you saw this morning. So this is just the skin on breast with the wing joint attached. So they have been dried. They're at room temperature. So I'm seasoning them now with salt and pepper. So it's very important that they be close to room temperature and dry. And now I'm heating up the pan first, and then I'm adding the canola oil and the butter at the same time. So this does two things. The canola oil stabilizes the butter so it can be heated to a higher heat, and then the butter helps with the browning of the chicken and helps seal in flavor. So I'm heating the butter and oil in the pan until the butter stops bubbling and foaming. So once that butter stops foaming, then I will put in the dried and seasoned chicken breasts. So there you can see that kind of foaminess is subsiding. Just swirling it around a little to make sure there's an even coating of the fat in the pan before I add the chicken. So now it's important to always put the skin side down in the hot pan. So that's going to be your presentation side. So the first side in the hot pan will always be the side that browns most evenly. So that is going to be the attractive or pretty looking side that you're going to show off facing the guest when you plate the chicken. And now I'm seasoning the bottom of the chicken that I hadn't seasoned before I put it in the pan. And now the idea is we're going to just let it cook in the pan to seal in the juices and brown the skin side of the breast before we turn it. And this usually takes about 5 to 6 minutes on a side. So we're now just going to check a few minutes later, and there you can see I'm turning the breast. See how nice, evenly brown that is. Also, I've turned the heat down a little bit because the pan carries a lot of residual heat. So if you ever start to see smoke forming along the sides of the pan, you're going to want to turn that heat down just to regulate the heat so it doesn't get too hot and burn the chicken or ignite the oil in the pan, because then you have a problem. So now the bottom of the breast has seared and it's a nice golden brown, and now there's that meaty end of the wing joint that needs to get cooked and browned. So you see how I've turned the breast at an angle so that kind of meaty side of the joint gets cooked. And now I'm doing the same thing a few minutes later and leaning it up against the side of the pan so that the outside of that kind of wing joint can get cooked evenly. And notice how I'm shifting the pan so that that edge of the pan is over the center of the heat, so that it stays hot in that area of the pan to brown and finish cooking that, again, that kind of meaty part of the wing joint there, so that we cook the chicken completely evenly. And the total time in the pan for sauteing a chicken breast of this size is going to be in the neighborhood of about 8 minutes or so, doing all the sides. So now the chicken's ready. Again, 165 degrees on a meat thermometer, and you can see how really beautifully golden brown and sealed in that sauteed chicken is.